Hello and welcome back to Miniverse, where today we are building a Warhammer diorama. But before we start painting the miniatures, well, we need to assemble them, don't we?
I never knew.
And also cut off those pesky little mould lines. I find the best way to do this is to use the back of your hobby knife and gently sand around the curved lines. Oh, and would you look at that? Here he comes! So as you've seen from the thumbnail, we're venturing into the realms of the arid rocky deserts. So let's remove that piece, this one, another one. Ah, that one nearly got away. What I love about carving out this foam, it really is a blank canvas, and to sound snobby and pretentious, it really is hobbyist's marble. With this diorama, I wanted the rocks to almost be escaping out the edge of the diorama, so I purposely left a lot of foam hanging off the edge so I can create the edge of the mountain. One thing that was really important to do while doing this was to make sure that I didn't just cut the foam from one angle, but switch it up from points of views, standing up, turn it around, sit back down, and carve that foam up to make it look random. So one of the biggest inspirations for this was some rocky ground I actually saw last year, and it was so interesting to me I stopped, recorded it, and knew I had to try and replicate it. And with great success, I found out that using a wire brush, repeatedly going over the same lines really gave this effect on the rocks. So I proceeded to fill in the gaps between the two layers of foam with some clay, then began brushing in multiple directions to add some randomness. Intermission break. If you made it this far in the video, I'm launching a Patreon and a Buy Me a Coffee, where you can support me through this cosy lives in England right now. There'll be a lot more content in the future, and this will allow me to make twice as many more videos. So thank you so much for listening. I really do appreciate every single one of you who even watches this video and even made it this far in the video. It blows my mind. Thank you, every single one of you. Back to the video. Then it came to the flat ground, and it turned out this method looks 10 times better on the clay than it did on the foam. Then I made sure to brush in a horizontal direction. All this would look really plain without some texture. So I mixed some small stones and sand together and sprinkled them onto some watered down PVA. What was really great about the PVA is because it was so thin, there was no hard edges to it. Therefore, the sand being poured on top meant it looked really natural, and honestly, I really like this method. When deciding where to put the sand, I aimed pretty much for any flat area that was not sloped, where I'm pretty sure that's where sand would build up naturally. I don't know, I'm not a geologist. Then after adding some rocks, it's time to return to our friend Bernard. Bernard? Anyway, I gave him a base coat of Abaddon black and attempted to give him some highlights, but I'm not that good yet, so I'm back to just having the base coat. For his sword, I used my favourite colour, black metal. And for his tabard, I used Ubshanti bone with a bleached bone highlight. Of course, for his pretty little tassels and sword handle, they were coating him with Fiston red. I mean, who comes up with these names? I know they're copyright names, but props to whoever Games Workshop makes these names. I then used Rhinox hide for all the leathery parts. Now for my second favourite metallic, decayed metal, which will account for all the accent of the metals. Now of course my most hated part, the helmet. I used Ulthway Grey for any white parts you'll see on the model of the armour. It's pretty good, but man, white paints are a pain to use. For the eyes I used Striking Scorpion and oh, that's a bit too much. There we go. I then added brighter highlights and a brown wash to bring anything that I thought was a little bit too bright to bring it back down and tone with the model. And now I can 100% confirm painting shoulder pads is the worst thing in this hobby. I don't know why, I don't know how people do it. I need to really practice this out, because painting black over white, oh my gosh, it's scary. And there you have it, Bayard in all his glory. So let's return to the diorama and get that bit sorted. Painting the diorama, I only used virtually 2 colours, Desert Sand and Deck Tan by Tamiya. I started with the base coat of Desert Sand and built up to a highlight of Deck Tan.
Oh no.
Let's get back to Grobnar, as it looks like he is in a lot of pain. For the skin tones, I used Orc Flesh, followed by an Orc Flesh contrast, thinned 1 drop of paint to 4 drops of medium, and created the easiest skin tone ever for Orcs. This recipe was actually by Juan Hidalgo on YouTube. He is fantastic. I highly recommend you check out his channel as well. With the contrast, you can slap this everywhere, just make sure it doesn't pull too much in the recesses. Next, we're going to give him some brown trousers, which might be that colour for more than one reason. Ugh. We're also going to give him some cool black shoes and leather straps. For the skin highlights, we're going to use a base tone of Orc Flesh and a brown wash over everything but the skin. Now I added a flight stand for the future Sneaky Boy, but I think in the future I'll swap this out and give him some proper jetpack clouds. Also, it's time to pour some blood for the blood gods. Now I don't think this diorama is done, but it's good enough for now. I definitely want to add a couple of fallen orc boys in the midst, but I'm really happy with this rock effect. It's definitely something I'll be adding to my miniature arsenal. I hope you enjoyed the video, and make sure to like and subscribe and all that jazz. I've been Reese, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.